So you're saying earlier that some people, they don't like the sound of this music? Really?
Oh, people get fully mad.
Oh.
The thing no one appreciates is these are the original recordings.
Oh,
You can't get that warm sound anymore. You know, the bass, the treble, the mids.
Oh, that, right, yeah. Oh.
Here.
Oh, that, okay, yeah. That's mids, right?
Yeah.
Wow, that's really got that thing on it.
Well, it's not on it, it's in it.
Oh, yeah, I like it a lot, yeah. Some people, they're just so ignorant to music. It's kind of sad, I would say.
Totally.
TBTL.
Well, there probably won't be anyone here. And if there is, they'll probably think I'm some kind of jerk for wanting just 2 potatoes.
It's your lucky day. You just found a USB flash drive in the parking lot. Let the fun begin.
Brother, who are you? What are you doing? I'm with the news, dude.
See, this is exactly the problem with lamestream media. Believe half of what you see and just a little bit of what you hear, and monkey see, monkey do. Monkey pee all over you.
Poop, booty, scoop, scoop. Poop, poop.
I could really use a win here.
Well, all right. Hello, good morning, and welcome everyone to a Tuesday edition of TBTL, the show that just might be too beautiful to live.
Feast your ear tongues on these memory pops.
My name's Luke Burbank. I am your host.
Get out of here, you flies. We got 3 flies, 5 flies.
Coming to you once again from the Madrona Hill studio, perched high above the mighty Columbia, where it is already a beautiful morning.
Oh, Ma, Pa, it's just beautiful.
I think this might be maybe my favorite part of summer because it's August, right? So it's nice out, but there's still a significant amount of summer left. I like that. Sometimes early June, it doesn't feel that summery. Maybe the weather isn't really cooperating. We are now in that period of time where it is reliably summery, but we still have a lot of summer left. And we have a lot of TBTL left here on this Tuesday, episode 4530 in a collector's series.
Let the fun begin.
What we really have a lot of left are voicemail messages that you, the tens of listeners, have left us on the voicemail line at 206-414-TBTL.
You're about to see some serious voices.
We're going to continue the project of clearing those out today, and we're going to do that with the help of this handsome young stranger, a soulful rocker from New Hampshire.
Hey there, Fireball.
He's Andrew Walsh, and he's joining me right now. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning, Luke. Not gonna lie to you, I'm
NGL
hammering a Fresca right now, which means I got myself some of them Fresca burps, which I have argued at parties and maybe here on the airwaves, one of the best burps you can achieve is a Fresca burp. It's very satisfying, but I shouldn't be broadcasting with Fresca burps, but we're gonna push through.
Remember back when we were in Wisconsin and we had that little get-together, and I think, I bought it. I was me. I did it. I think I grabbed a 12er of Fresca.
No,
and
I
those
didn't.
Things were,
really? We had Fresca?
Yeah, did you not notice that we had Fresca at the picnic, at the get-together?
Oh, at the picnic. I'm sorry. I was picturing at the Airbnb. I think I was not listening closely enough there. I thought you were telling me that we had Fresca in our Airbnb, and I didn't notice the whole time. Oh,
no,
yes,
we had
I
Fresca
did see it at the picnic. Yeah, good for you.
And people were just, speaking of hammering it, people were going for the Fresca. It was all gone by the end. People were excited, not only because of the delicious, refreshing taste of the official beverage of TBTL, which is, of course, Fresca, but also just the irony, not the irony, they felt like they were in on the bit.
How about a Fresca?
You know, they were like, oh, yeah, this is both something that I enjoy drinking and I enjoy being part of TBTL lore because we drink a lot of Fresca on this show.
Yeah, our embracing of Fresca, certainly. And I do wonder how much, okay, a couple of things here.
Yeah.
A couple of examples of what I'm trying to describe. I feel like I got into Fresca independently. Even before you started talking about it a lot on the show, I was getting into a pretty heavy Fresca-dominated lifestyle. I've always liked Fresca. My journey with it, as you know, is that I never even knew it was a diet soda. I just thought, oh yeah, I like those citrusy sodas, There's Fresca, and then there's another one that is not diety and very sugary, and I would get them confused. That's what a moron I am. What is the other one I'm thinking of?
Are you thinking of Sunkissed? Are you
No.
thinking of Orange Crush?
It's another
of
grapefruit soda, but it's not a diet
Squirt.
one.
Are you
Squirt,
thinking of
thank you.
Squirt?
That's exactly what I'm thinking of. I was like, I like Fresca, I like Squirt. I just thought they were kind of the same thing. And so I started buying Fresca at the store, bringing it home, and then somebody told me, oh, yeah, it's diet. It's like got no calories. It's like the same as drinking like a Diet Coke or a Coke Zero. I had no idea. I just liked it on its merits, but it felt like this became a big conversation in the friend group. My friend Katie was talking about Fresca a lot. You started talking about Fresca a lot. And then I started to wonder, wait a second. Was I subconsciously pushed towards this because they did have a recent rebranding? And maybe I heard Katie talking about it, which got me to rediscover it. I don't know. Like, are we really reaching this independently, or are market forces pushing us there? And I'm wondering the same thing about these Grillo's pickles that are suddenly all over the place. I'm enjoying Grillo's pickles. I thought I got there independently as well. I mentioned them to you, and you're like, oh yeah, my siblings on siblings weekend could not stop talking about Grillo's pickles. I'm like, oh, I guess I have no independent thoughts anymore.
Well, I think this is another example of how you don't want to admit that I turned you on to Fresca. You have to have some involved backstory. You saw Fresca play to 7 people at a club years before I ever mentioned Fresca to you. You will not give me the W of saying that I repopularized it in this relationship.
I do think, if anything, it was my friend Katie who probably got me thinking about it more on the forefront of my mind. I will give her credit.
Well, all right. I love Katie, so I'm happy for Katie to get the W. Katie could really use a win here.
Yes, she could.
So I'm happy for her to get the
Famously, as
W
she
on
always
this.
says in her movies.
For this Fresca thing. Really, here is the problem. We have popularized Fresca so much now on this show and with the listeners that guess who didn't get to have a Fresca at the event?
You.
This guy, because it was all
he's
gone. It was
pointing at
kind of the
himself.
only thing that I wanted. I did have a delicious Wisconsin-based root beer that I think Michael provided.
Oh, yeah.
So that was yummy.
12-pack of those fancy root beers in bottles.
Yeah, but then after that, I wanted one more thing to slake my thirst, and I was going to go in for a Fresca, and they were all gone. The cobbler's children go without shoes, Andrew.
You know what I started drinking at the picnic was beer.
Oh, hold the root.
When me and John were planning that thing, we said, yeah, we're not going to bring alcohol. Like, I don't know, just like providing too much alcohol to people who are driving there. It was just like, whatever. It was a pretty early evening summer picnic. We weren't really going to mess around with booze.
It's pretty funny, though, if you think about how far the show has come in terms of that kind of stuff, because, all of our other parties are like literally at wineries, or the whole thrust of it would be copious amounts of alcohol consumption. But yeah, I think our thought was everyone's driving from pretty far away to this, and we're not interested in being the purveyors of alcohol that could have then gotten some folks in trouble on the way home.
Yeah, but some people brought beer, and I'm already forgetting the name of it, and they're going to be so mad at me, but there's that one beer that's only available in Wisconsin that John
New Glarus.
New Glarus.
Gotta have that root beer.
Do you think New Glarus? See, that's the thing. People kept saying it to me. I can't.
They were saying it differently.
I can't picture how it's spelled, though. It sounds like, don't drink New Glarus if you're allergic to New Glarus. It sounds like
it's Glarus. But I do feel like somebody was saying it differently than the way it looks. It looks to me like it's new, that word I'm familiar with, and then Glarus, that word I'm less familiar with, and then brewing company. Those words I do know.
I see 2 words. I think in my head I was seeing them as one word. And it's funny because I drank a lot of these, but I never stopped to look at the bottles. All of that is to say, I was like, yeah, we're just going to go to this, picnic. We're going to drink some sodas. We're going to chop it up with the listeners. And then people started bringing beer, and I was like, oh, or I could drink beer. And so I did. I didn't have a lot, honestly. I think I had 2 beers, but I kind of went from being like, oh yeah, this is going to be a beer-free event, to somebody said, do you want a beer? I'm like, of course I do. Of course I do.
But now they were going to be liable if you had a situation on the way home.
Well, that's what
because they were the ones who gave you the beer.
You and I got in that road rage incident against each other, and we were in the same car. It got real ugly.
We did have a moment where we were driving, and we were I think 2 cars back from a car that was going quite slowly.
Yes,
quite slowly in between where we had the event and this after party we went to it's 5:00 somewhere, and the car in front of us zipped around eventually this car that was going very slowly and zoomed off, And I believe that car that went around was ultimately being driven by some of the people who attended the picnic. And now it's just us behind this car. And I think I even said this car is giving profound Hans Moleman vibes.
I didn't hear you say that, but accurate. Yeah.
Like it was just going very safely, very slowly. It's now dark out. And we were kind of trying to figure out, boy, this car is going quite slowly. And then we found out that it was our friend Harriet from the newspaper.
That's right. 1R, 1T.
She said, yeah, I drive pretty slowly when it's dark out. By the way, Harriet is a person who's, definitely seen some things, been around for a while, so I totally understand it. Because even at 49, I don't like driving in the dark sometimes. But it was pretty funny that she was she goes, yeah, there was kind of a long line behind me. I was like, yep, yeah, we were part of it.
And didn't she even point out that it was some other 10s that zipped around her, I believe?
Yeah, I think she had some theories. But she also was, and I appreciate this about Harriet, she was unapologetic. It wasn't like she was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry I was delaying everyone. She was like, no, this is what it is to be behind me when I'm driving my car at night.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit more like that in life as well, saying this is me, accept it, accept it or not. Now,
this is us, Andrew, a show that has too many voicemail messages still piling up.
Yes, but we are getting through them quite a bit. The weird thing is people are leaving more on the voicemail line, though, as we do this. So it's sort of like one of those, it's a treadmill, as we discussed last week.
It's a naturally renewing resource, which we kind of love. And we got to do this show for the foreseeable future. So this is a good thing.
But I don't know where to begin with these voicemails, so maybe you should spin that wheel.
That's why we've got this handy-dandy wheel.
All right, do you want to spin it?
Yeah, all right, hold on. Yeah, but you're
wearing gloves today. That's interesting. Is that to protect your hands or the wheel?
I got 1 to 200 paper cuts yesterday trying to operate the wheel.
That makes sense. That's the thing. Most people get about 1 paper cut every 2 years, except for one really bad day when they get 390.
So I'm on track for 400 lifetime, which actually I feel bad for doubting our friend. Breakfast with Bob.
Yes, exactly.
So I've got the gloves and I'm behind the wheel. So I'm going to need you again to be eyes on this and tell me where we're actually going to land. Here we go. Do. Take a spin on the wild side.
Indeed.
That's my Lou Reed impression.
Where
did it land?
That last click just pushed us over to Danielle in SeaTac.
Okay.
And based on the date of this, this is actually, based on the things we've been playing, more of a slightly more modern one. This just goes back to our Big Mac eaten days.
Oh, man. I was telling somebody about that the other day. I was telling my Livewire colleagues about it. And they were all kind of horrified that I was able to pull it off.
This, of course, is the Big Mac Challenge for all those new listeners that we have, where Luke and I each tried to eat a Big Mac in 1 minute
Wisconsin
or less.
106, and now you're just tuning in. We did it in a minute.
Go back. Don't worry. We keep an extensive archive. You can go back and look for the episode from a few weeks back where we each ate a Big Mac and attempted to do it in under a minute. I didn't quite get there.
If you've been pondering the question of whether or not we can eat a Big Mac in under 60 seconds, the answer is watch the video.
The answer is give us that engagement on social media so that we can somehow someday monetize it. So I'm pretty sure that's where this voicemail from Danielle comes in.
Hi, friendos. This is Danielle from SeaTac. And all of the Big Mac talk that's been going on the pod has got me thinking about when I worked at McDonald's in high school. There was a woman who had the craziest order. This is all she would order. She would come in and she would order a small cup of Mac sauce and a side of pickles, and that was it. It was the weirdest order, and she would come in nearly every day and order it. It was insane. But I just thought I had to share that was the weirdest order that I always got when I worked at McDonald's. Anyway, have a good day. Bye.
Okay. First of all, I was a little distracted because I've heard that voicemail a couple of times as I pulled it off the voicemail line. I just realized that we know that Danielle. I recognize Danielle's voice. Danielle is our super, super crafty 10 who made that gingerbread house that you could live in. Do you remember
and
that?
And has and she's got like social media channels, right? Where she's out there crafting and making things. Isn't she big on TikTok or something?
Yes, she's like an influencer, and it's driving me bananas because I'm Googling here on the fly. I think it's
like Parada.
I thought it was Paraheda or Paraheda, but I'm spelling
Pasta
it wrong.
Paraheda?
You can look. Everybody should look it up. Danielle is an absolute delight. What do you think of that order, though?
Well, it sounds like something I would absolutely order when I went into McDonald's, you know, like because I would be like, oh, well, pickles are low carb and that sauce, you know what I mean? Like I could see myself getting into a mode where I'm like, oh, I can eat at McDonald's again. I just have to order a side of pickles and mac sauce. Now, what I said to you when we were first, you would mention something about this V-mail to me some time ago. And I said, what I'm shocked by is that I had never heard the term mac sauce in my life until about a few weeks ago. Maybe it was when the Big Mac Challenge started making it around. I started hearing people calling it mac sauce a lot, and I've never heard it called mac sauce before. But was I the only one?
That's interesting. Yes. So Danielle says mac sauce, but also tells the story as if this was a while back, and she was an employee, so clearly it was called mac sauce. But famously, like it didn't, when she said it here, it didn't occur to me like, oh yeah, mac sauce. I didn't ponder it. It wasn't a question to ponder for me. But in the song, the branding of it has always been special sauce, right? Like that they list the ingredients famously in the song and they say special sauce. And so we always grew up calling it special sauce. I wonder if at a certain point McDonald's, and it might have been a while ago, I don't know when Danielle was working there, but let's say it was 10 or 20 years ago, maybe sometime in the 2000s or something, they made an effort. What was that
I think they
sound
must
you
have.
just played? Was that a mistake or was that a drop?
No, well, it was a mistake. I was queuing something up. I was going to play you the 1975.
Oh, okay.
Patty, pickles, cheese, and the pickles, pickles, cheese, lettuce and onion, sesame.
This is people, I think, trying to remember what is on a Big Mac.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
Seed bunt.
I think they're describing a big...
To all these patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. Say that again.
So I think you're right, though. I think that they must have decided that special sauce wasn't a good name for it anymore.
Yeah.
That mac sauce would, I don't know. I mean, it raises the question, like, I guess it's part of the overall branding. How important is it? Like, they must have had a lot of high-level meetings where they said, we're starting to call it mac sauce now. And we think that's going to move more, sauce? More Big Macs?
Do they need to move more sauce? So this is spurring a memory I had from our road trip back from Wisconsin. We were driving. What is it? It was like a 3.5-hour trip, driving. John drove the whole way from Friendship back up to the Twin Cities. And on that road trip, we stopped at the world's busiest subway.
We didn't even talk about that. The insanity of that line when we got in there. And, like, of course, you know me, I'm very impatient. And we were going to grab a little food, and we went in. And my first thought was, well, screw this. Let's go to that Taco John's. I don't care how spicy
I would have been
it
fine
is.
with that. Oh, none of us in the crew suggested changing, and
none of us.
So
did
I thought you
I
guys
felt
were
like,
happy to do that.
I thought I would have been being extra because when you got 3 people, it can be a little bit of a. If we all decide on something and then you're just going to go for it, it kind of feels like I didn't know if I wanted to reopen the negotiation or like if John was really looking forward to Subway or you were. Or
yeah,
something.
I guess it was John's idea. It's funny. Maybe we should have had the conversation because that was a really long wait, and I didn't care. Yeah. I wasn't even sure I was going to get anything because I had been chomping on pretzel rods the whole time. So that's one of those things where maybe we should have just talked about it because John is really go along, get along. Like what? How long do you think this was? Not some sort of special Subway, by the way. This wasn't like in like some sort of like fancy grove in Los Angeles, and so all the stars came out. Like this is like a random Subway along the highway that is attached to, I want to say, a Quick Time or whatever those marts are, the convenience stores. What am I thinking of? Quick Mart?
Quick Trip.
Quick Trip, yeah.
I would love it if it was called Quick Time, and then every time you tried to go into it, it actually couldn't load.
It says this is not an
supported
MP4
file
or something. Yeah. You're trying to play a
It would just give you a little traffic cone and say, sorry, it does not open this file.
You're trying to play a .rn file that only real networks can play for some reason. Wow. Anyway, it was just like there was nothing remarkable about this place, but it was there. And then the line, would you say we waited 20 minutes or more?
Probably. It felt like almost
while.
Out the door. And the issue was, well, first of all, a lot of people wanted to go to this random Wisconsin Subway. The other issue, as I saw it, was they had one of their sandwich artists just assigned to the till. Now, maybe they've decided that this is the this is the fastest way to do it. This is the most efficient way. But I was observing a lot of time where that particular employee wasn't doing anything. They were just waiting. So there was the Chris Sullivan choke point was where the sandwiches were being made.
But they did it. But it was one of the highly staffed Subways I've been in a long time. They had 3 employees, so 2 of them were making sandwiches, and one was working at the cash register, like you said. And I wasn't like paying tons of attention or scrutinizing them, but they did not seem like it didn't seem like the line was long because like they were like working lollygagging or working too slow or slow quitting.
They weren't doing what Sklarov said he did when he worked there in like high school, which is that they would play baseball with the tomatoes behind the Subway.
That sounds fun. But anyway, here's what I'm getting at. When you get to, so I believe maybe you ordered first, then me, then John.
I did.
I'm not sure. But so
I need to set an example for all of you of how to do it.
So I'm placing my order, but I look over and you're having a conversation with the sandwich artist, something about, were you asking for were you asking them to hollow out the bread for you, but they were unfamiliar with it? I only saw it for a second and it only sort of like registered in a little part of my brain, but I wanted to follow up with you on that.
Man, you are very observant sometimes.
I'm usually not, but yes.
Well, this was your shining moment because this is exactly what happened. If I go to Subway, I kind of ask them to rip out the kind of some of the bread, the innards. Hey, there's that word again, innards of the bread.
They tickle your innards.
And I feel like I'm being kind of extra when I do that. It's a little bit of a carb-conscious choice for me. It's also that I just don't like a ton of bread. And I also don't get meat on the sandwich. So I kind of feel like I need the ratio of the veggies and the other stuff in there to be not overwhelmed by the bread. And so I typically, if I go to Subway, which isn't very frequent, I'll request that. Now, we're in Wisconsin. I don't want to paint with a broad brush, but let's just say on my morning eagle soaring, I didn't see anybody else out there. When I was trying to order non-meat-based food in Friendship, it definitely seemed to be surprising to people. I just didn't know if that was...
T-shirt in the hardware store that says, I don't jog because these colors don't run.
Yes. And then it had, I think, an American flag on it or something like that. So that definitely set a tone. And so I sheepishly asked, could you tear the bread out? And then she looks at me deadpan, this very kind of overworked, hustling, 22-year-old. And she goes, I don't know how to do that. And then that was my worst fear realized because I knew there was a line. I didn't want to delay anyone. I didn't want to I didn't want to give anyone their worst day of their life at work. And then I was like, oh my God, I am so sorry. And she goes, no, I'm just messing with you.
Oh, really? Is that what happened?
Yes.
That's so funny because I was like, I don't know how to do that. What does that mean? That really makes me, I wish I'd paid more attention. That is... you know me, that's my energy. I love that kind of
She absolutely got me. I think because I think what happened was I was so sheepish about how I was ordering it that I was almost patronizing in a way, kind of like I was like, can you do the thing where you rip some of the bread out? And then she just looked at me deadpan and goes, I don't know how to do that. And then I was like, oh my God, I'm that guy. I'm that coastal elite. Here I am in flyover country showing myself for the coastal elite I am. And then she laughed. She was like, no, of course. And then she just started doing it.
Oh, that's so sweet.
So that is what you observed.
On a really busy day, in what could probably be a soul-crushing job, just given like the location of that and just like the constant repetition and just like looking up and seeing that this line is never getting shorter.
That was, when I worked in food service, that was the worst. When I worked at Dick's, or even when I worked at like Bumpy's Fruit and Yogurt, when you look up and the line is starting to get out the door, that is just such a bad feeling.
Yeah, but to not just maintain your humanity, but your humor. My God, I'm inspired by I'm inspired by that sandwich artist, and I wish I had witnessed more of that. Maybe that's what I saw, just the end of your interaction, maybe, and you maybe were laughing or something, and I
was laughing. It was a good joke. It was a nice moment of levity there, and it was a good sandwich as well. Here's what I would say, and I'm not trying to tell people how to live their lives, but I think the difference between a Subway, my normal order, as we discussed, my normal order back in the day would have been a meatball sub. God, I love those. But also, I would have gone with turkey a lot of the time. I would argue that if you order a veggie delight or a veggie sandwich from Subway and you have all the right fixins on it, you don't even miss the turkey. That's not world-class turkey. That's not winning any major awards. Like, what you really... in the Subway game for, if you're me, is the weird taste of the veggies, which are sort of specific to Subway. For me, some spicy mustard. I do like mayo. I know you don't go in for the mayo. The oil and vinegar, the salt and pepper, the pepperoncinis. Like there were many bites in there where I thought this doesn't even need turkey on it.
I'm just really mad. I don't do that. I do need the meat. But the thing is, when I was getting meat, I'm not just getting turkey. That sort of sounds boring to me. But I'll be honest with you, we talked about this when they made their big menu change a few years ago.
The numbering system?
Not only the numbering, they have destroyed the menu. Like, I went to Subway a lot more back in the day. And I honestly think, I mean, listen, I'm sure they're doing fine. You know, like, I'm sure me not going there isn't going to get them to change their menu back. But, like, I'm not doing it out of protest, but I realize I'm not going to Subway anymore because they took my sandwiches off. Like, they had
what
two
was
things.
your go-to?
They had two things that were very, very similar. I can't remember the difference between it, but it was like an Italian BMT, which that was one of those that was a
always
holdover.
Sounds dirty to me.
And it was a holdover. Wasn't it named after one of the Subway stops? I think that was one of the last sandwiches that was still named after a New York Subway stop.
Oh.
But it was a mixture of meats, and then there was another one that was just sort of like I don't know, another version of that it was like the spicy Italian or something, but very similar. It's like three different kinds of meats. It was like probably like turkey and salami and maybe pepperoni. It had more of like, one of them is more spicy and has more spicy meats. And then I do like a lot of veggies on that, but I really like the meat. And again, it's kind of it was more like something that had a little bit more of a kick to it. And now they just don't have it. And whatever they replaced it with, they put some other garbage on. They stripped the sandwich way down. It's down to like maybe one kind of meat or maybe two. But then they replaced it with like extra cheese. They're like, the sandwich has extra cheese now. Well, if I don't eat cheese and you take that all off, like, that's no good. And then some sort of it was some sort of a cheese balsamic. I know that sounds awful. I can't be right about that. It couldn't have been balsamic. It was some sort of a cheese flavored dressing.
Whoa,
and I mean, I don't know if you're
thanks.
looking at the menu now. It was probably a Parmesan dressing or something. And I'm like, God. Miss me with that. I'll be at Taco John's.
That was too spicy for me.
And then, but John always says, John Sklaroff, our John, not Taco John.
No.
He's always, as the kind of official Subway.
Because he did work at Subway in high school.
He's a sandwich artist emeritus. He's always like, they'll make whatever you want. Like, just tell them to
that's
exactly
what I'm
you
saying,
want. But the
yeah.
thing is, like, I don't remember what was on those sandwiches. I just say BMT, hold the cheese, not toasted, thank you. And then I would like add all of my stuff. Like, it's the sandwich ended up being fine, by the way, but it just wasn't as exciting as it used to be. I think I'm done. I think I'm a Jersey Mike's man now.
Now, you know about the whole Mike's Way. Jersey Mike's Way thing, right?
Oh, yeah. I always
do you
get it
do
Mike's
that?
Way. Oh, yeah, definitely. I get it Mike's Way.
What does that
plus
mean exactly?
pepperoncinis. I believe it is oil and vinegar and what is the seasoning? Is it basil? Not basil. Oregano, probably, right? What would you sprinkle on a sandwich? Not oregano, not basil. Is it thyme? It's one of those. It's one of those sort of earthy things. I think that's it, right? Oil, vinegar, and
I'm on Reddit. Mike's Way is onion, lettuce, tomato, oil, vinegar, oregano, and salt. You actually
that's
had
right.
that
I left off the lettuce and tomato and onions, but yeah, that's part of it as well, and a blend of spices. I always get that plus pepperoncinis.
I was telling you guys that my order in my early 20s, I used to eat at Subway a minimum of once a week, and it was always on the same night. It would be I was driving home from playing pickup basketball, and I would just be, it was a couple hours of really hard running and exercise and stuff. And so I guess I'd be in a pretty big calorie deficit, and I would stop at this Subway that's kind of in like sort of Denny. Like, it was basically in between where we played basketball at like Ballard High, I think, one of those high schools. And then I'd go back home to where I lived in like Beacon Hill. For some reason, I'd go to this one Subway and I would get a full foot-long meatball sub and then a full foot-long turkey sub and then probably a minimum of 6 cookies. Oh, and chips and a soda. And I would eat the first sub, probably the meatball sub, sitting in the car. And then I would drive home, and then I would eat the second sub when I got home. 2 feet of sub. That's a lot of food.
Oh, to have a metabolism.
I know. God.
I mean, I didn't even have one back then, but I certainly don't. I have even less than one now.
It's insane when I think about Peter and I, when we used to work at Bumpy's Fruit and Yogurt, we one of the things that we would do in the summertime was we would close early, which was bad because that was depriving the boss of the money that he needed to keep the place open. But we would a lot of times we would close early because we just wanted to get out of there. But we would also, there was this tip jar, and I don't know what the exact distribution of, there was some kind of a system where I think it was supposed to, all the tip money was supposed to go into the till or into some shared fund and then later distributed. But we would just like absolutely pilfer that thing because we'd be closing. And we would take all of that, the tip money that we took, we would just drive straight to that Jack in the Box that's not very far from where you now live.
Oh, yeah.
And we would order, I mean, we're both like, I think I'm like 16, he's 17 or whatever. We're both just like teenagers who I just have hollow legs. Both legs are hollow at this point. I mean, I would order probably 15,000 to 20,000 calories of food. And then we would go home, we go to his house and we would watch Conan O'Brien and I'd eat like 2 sourdough jacks, a jumbo jack, fries, a couple of tacos for good measure. And just like
to wash it down.
Yeah. I'd probably wash it down with a cookie shake or something. I mean, it was like I was like a Hollywood actor who had been cast in a role where they needed to like double in size.
Oh, you were in The Wrestler? Not The Wrestler. Wasn't
The Whale or something?
The Whale, I'm thinking of. Yes, I've never seen any of those.
I haven't either. That whole idea of that movie is very weird to me, honestly. Like, I feel like I'm kind of surprised. I mean, I'm surprised that got made in this day and age because I haven't seen it, but I can't understand how that movie could be interpreted as anything other than non-body positive.
I don't know enough about it, and I always get it confused with Encino Man. Aren't they both Brendan Fraser? Am I right about that?
They are both Brendan Fraser. They are both, but that's a pretty good joke, actually.
Do you want to do another quick spin of the wheel? Oh, I'm sorry. Am I cutting you off? Let's do a real quick spin of the wheel there.
Quick,
let's see here. Let's hope it lands on a shorty.
Let me get the wheel.
Okay. It's like you're disappearing behind it.
Yeah. And short one.
Oh, it did land on a short one and an old one.
Lucky.
An old one. I listened to this when I pulled it off the voicemail line. This might be like a half a year old or something now.
Oh, boy.
You and I must have just been talking. I like going to Guitar Center. I enjoy the experience at my local Guitar Center down in the Roosevelt neighborhood. They are so GD helpful there, Luke. They were so busy before we went on the road to Wisconsin, and I had to pick up a few like supplies to ship off to John, but I didn't have a box to ship all this stuff in. I need a pretty big box to ship an audio board and all this stuff, and I didn't know exactly where I was going to get that box. I was going to figure it out. But while I'm at Guitar Center, a very busy day at Guitar Center, by the way, not unlike that Subway, I'm checking, I'm paying for the stuff I bought. And I said to the guy behind the counter, kind of a young man, I'm like, I know you're super busy, but is there any chance you have like a big box that some musical equipment or something came in that maybe I could use to ship this stuff? And he's like, yeah, I mean, if you he's like, I'm busy right now, but if you just hang out for a little bit, I'll find the time. And then he helps a few more people. And then somebody asks him for some help. And he's like, I can't help you right now. I'm just too busy. And so I stepped up. I'm like, dude, you're so busy. You can't help me. He's like, no, I'm busy helping you. I'm going in the back to get that box now. And it was the perfect. He brought me back 2 boxes. One of them was the perfect size. I don't even know if we would have had a show in Wisconsin if it weren't for that fella. So I'm a big fan of a Guitar Center. And we got this voicemail from listener David of Smittens fame.
Hey, this is David from the Smittens, a first-time caller. I'm calling because of the...
Isn't that shocking? First-time caller?
That is. He's been at my house on my porch playing music, but never called.
We did a video with him for that series we did a couple of years ago.
Hey, this is David from the Smittens, a first-time caller. I'm calling because of the Guitar Center talk and the gentleman there being very polite. I was in there once looking for a little headphone amplifier, and they had one behind the counter, and it didn't have a price on it. And the guy just gave it to me. He's like, it's in the counter, doesn't have a price, I guess it's free. And I walked out the door with it. Cool story.
And we wonder why that place is going out of business.
Honestly, that makes me want to go there even more. Like I am loving Guitar Center. I know that it's down the street from like the Trading Musician, which was like a long-standing local, beloved used equipment store that recently went out of business. I'm sure Guitar Center in some ways is kind of like the big baddie.
It's owned by the guy. It's owned by Jimmy John.
was about to say it's owned by Papa John. I almost said
It's owned
that.
by a problematic John, okay?
Yeah, it's one of them. But I love that story so much, and I'm glad to know that it's not just localized to here in Seattle, because David's out in New England somewhere, right? They're hiring the right people, and they have the right leeway, I would say.
And, I say that they're going out of business, but maybe they're not. Honestly, every time I go in one, there's a lot of people. It's just chaotic.
Yeah.
It always feels to me like they're going out of business, but that actually just could be my perception.
Yeah, I don't know.
place.
I mean, also as other places kind of maybe do go out of business, like I am more likely to try to go to Guitar Center to get a little electronic doohickey of some sort than I would Best Buy. Back in the day, it would have been Best Buy, but Best Buy definitely has that hollowed out feeling these days. Like a lot of empty, and you're just like, oh, you're not going to have anything. And so maybe more people like me are turning to Guitar Center. And honestly, I hope they stay in business, because when you get rid of the Guitar Centers, all you'll have is Amazon for this kind of stuff. And I really appreciate being able to. They've been so. I think maybe the story that I told that led to that voicemail was how some guy on the phone was like really helping me like kind of figure out the right board to get, and like they're always very. If they don't have all of the information you need, they're very patient. They will answer. They will sit there and answer every single one of my annoying questions until I've exhausted myself and it's time for a nap.
I love those people, and I hope that they live 1,000 years, 1,000 lifetimes. What do they say?
May live to be 1,000 years old, sir.
May Guitar Center live to be 1,000 years old.
That's right.
All right. So that's all the voicemail, right? Now we're done. Now we move on.
No, Luke, I still have some. It looks like somebody is calling the voicemail line right now, leaving another voicemail.
You gotta be. Well, then I guess tomorrow we better clear some more out.
I guess so.
That's what we're gonna do. Okay, everybody, we will be back here tomorrow with more Imaginary Radio for you. In the meantime, have yourself a great Tuesday. And please remember, no mountain too tall.
And good luck to all.
Hey there, I'm just listening to episode 4525, and you guys are talking about garbage men or collectors or different names for that. Of course, like today's modern technology, I've turned to AI. There's a few examples: sanitation worker, waste collector, refuse technician, environmental services worker, waste disposal operator, solid waste handler. That sounds gross. Waste management specialist. I kind of like that one. Recycling and waste coordinator. That's a good one. Trash collector, waste removal technician, environmental operations worker, municipal waste specialist. That's all pretty good. This is Russell F. in Kennewick, Washington. Power out.
Power out.